I really can't believe that it is Litha already, and it feels like yesterday that we celebrated Yule together, and here we are celebrating Litha, the summer solstice, where the sun reaches its peak up in the sky. The summer solstice is the longest day and the shortest night of the year in the Northern Hemisphere. And since I started working with the Wheel of the Year, I really started to realize how slowly yet fast everything in nature is changing, how everything has its rhythm and is always the same, yet every year I feel like I discover something new every single day and see all the plants and grasses and trees in a new light. It feels like it was just yesterday that I was eagerly waiting for all the flowers to show their beautiful colors in spring. And now when I take a walk in nature, farmers have already planted corn and grain, and it is not long until there will be the biggest harvest of the year. From now on, the days get shorter again, but it is also now that Mother Earth is gifting us with richness and abundance wherever we look. When I think about the time around Litha, I think about the rich smell of elderflowers, and I cannot help but be reminded of the lush purple color of lavender. Cherries are ripening on the trees, presenting a sweet and delicious dessert for birds and other little animals. And I myself can feel how this rich and colorful spectacle in nature is nourishing my own creativity, my inner magic when I spend time outside and say hello to my little fairy friends. And I just feel called to study all the flowers and herbs and plants that grow around me. And when I found out during my research that the folk who lived here hundreds of years ago had a ritual where they collected 9 herbs, all those who have healing properties, it was said, I teared up because I felt like I was walking in their footprints. I felt like I reconnected to this old wisdom inside of me and every single tree. Once again, fire plays a big role for the Sabbath, and every year in June there are huge midsummer bonfires in the villages near my hometown. So these bonfires for the summer solstice, for Litha, are still a tradition in many places in Germany. In the past, women would hold their collected herbs close to the fire to further boost their healing powers with the power of the fire. Everyone danced around the fire and celebrated, laughing, enjoying, and I can just imagine how happy and cheerful the people back in the day must have been around this time of the year, and I can understand why. It was the most carefree time of the year, considering how difficult survival often used to be. Everything is available in abundance now. Abundant gifts from Mother Earth. Everything grows and thrives because they didn't have to worry about food during this time of the year. Their joy and zest for life also increased. The women wore a wreath in their hair and jumped over the fire together with their partner. And it was believed that if the herbs were thrown into the fire, they blessed the year and drove away evil forces. The houses were decorated with bouquets of elderflowers, mugwort, ground ivy and amber, which brought protection and prosperity. And I myself like to think back to how I gazed, lost in thought, into the huge crackling fire, the dancing flames that turned the wood into ashes, the heat that emanated from the fire when it got chilly at night, and how everyone from the village came together to celebrate this day long into the night. On the day of the summer solstice, and for me really the whole summer, It's about connecting with the power of the sun and absorbing it, so that your reserves are filled for the winter. It is also a wonderful time to gather the power of the sun so that you can use it in the darker months of the year, for example in the form of collecting and drying herbs. Furthermore, it is the perfect time to connect with the fairies and other magical beings and experience their magic with all your senses outside. From an astrological point of view, the sun now enters the water sign of Cancer and reminds us how important balance is in everything in life. Sun alone has a destructive and burning effect. The element of water is always needed to bring forth the wonderful fruits of nature. So Litha invites you to think about where your inner fire may be destructive. For example, are you only working hard and never take a rest? So here are some simple ways how you can celebrate Litha, but as always they are only here to inspire you, and I really invite you to find ways to celebrate this time of the year that honors your inner sun, your very own magic. And to start off my Litha celebrations, I decided to wear my favorite vintage dress in this beautiful yellow, and to me this embodies the Litha energy perfectly. So I invite you for the summer solstice to just wear something that really sparks your inner magic, your inner sun, and represents this richness and abundance in nature to you. As always, I started by decorating my altar spaces with colors and symbolism that represent Litha. For colors, I wanted to use yellow and golden to really represent the peak of the sun and make my altar a reminder that there is richness and abundance right now, everywhere around me, that I'm safe and nature is taking care of me. You can use anything that represents the sun, like ornaments or something like that. And I recently thrifted that cute oil lamp with the sun on it, so I thought it would be perfect. A friend of mine gifted me that cute little bookmark, and I thought it would be perfect as it has a happy little sun on it. You can also make your own altar decoration, a Litha sun made from grain for example, and it is really so easy. You can also use any kind of grass that you can find in your area, but grain just has something about it that when you arrange it in a circle, it just looks like a little sun. Now all you need to do is put the grain around a metal ring, or like I did around an embroidery frame. And it took me a while to figure out how to do this, to leave a small circle in the middle, and simply develop my own technique. I filled up all spaces with all the grain that I had, and I really love how it turned out. I secured everything while creating the round shape with some yellow embroidery thread, and don't worry if it looks messy. The more you weave the grain into each other, the more secure it gets, and you can simply put grains on top of each other to hide any threads. I really love this fluffy look, and this is such a simple yet cute decoration for any Litha altar. And I love how it is a reminder of the abundance in nature and the radiance of the sun. My altar was nearly finished. To finish up the altar makeover, I put my favorite candle holders with 2 yellow candles on my altar. And because I just love fairies and I love working with them, I put things on my altar that were for the fairies. Angel aura quartz, my little fairies of course, and a little bowl where I could put the presents for them later that day. Now to me, honey is the ultimate reminder for abundance and wealth and fruition, and I love the beautiful golden creamy color of it, so of course I had to put a little jar with honey on my altar as well. To further decorate your altar for Litha, you can also use fresh flowers like elderflower, lavender, amber, and you can also use, for example, seashells, fruits, and anything you like. Next, I wanted to make a little present for the fairies and the elder tree gnomes. And what better present is there than cookies? I mean, who doesn't love cookies? And I can say for sure that the fairies and the gnomes do. Another wonderful way to celebrate Litha is to pick up fruits locally. So I ventured to the strawberry fields to collect my own strawberries. I just love collecting fruits, herbs and vegetables and show my gratitude. Picking your food with intention and already infusing it with some magic is so beautiful, and I hope you can try it out too. No matter if it is just, and I say that in quotes, a tiny tomato plant on your balcony or some herbs you grow in your kitchen. Now it was time to collect some herbs that I would be able to use for my witchcraft in autumn and winter, and charge myself with the sun that was collected in everything I would collect with intention that day. I already collected elderflower, lavender, daisies, rose leaves and some rosebuds, and put everything in jars. And I just love the aesthetic of herbs in jars, and the process of drying them and filling them in their jars is just the most relaxing activity to me. I also wanted to make my own smudge bundles this year, and for this I needed some fresh lavender and other herbs like rosemary, sage or peppermint. You can use whatever herbs you like and choose them with intention, depending on what magical properties your smudge bundle should have. And make sure that they are suitable to be burned as well, and that they are not poisonous. Making smudge bundles is so much fun, and you can use them for cleansing rituals later on as well. I chose lavender because it has relaxing and cleansing properties. I also chose rosemary because to me it really helps to open up my heart chakra, and it helps to let go. And on top of that, it also has strong protection properties, so it is a must in every witch's kitchen. Sage could also be a beautiful herb if you want even more cleansing properties, but it can also help with clarity, focus and concentration. Amber is a plant deeply connected with Litha and perfect for a Litha smudge bundle. You could use mugwort for even more protection, or whatever you find in your garden or in nature. But as always, only collect if you know a plant properly, and collect only as much as you need, and give the plant your gratitude. After collecting your herbs, let them dry for a day. You don't want them to be too dry so that they are still flexible and don't break when making the bundles, but we want to prevent them from molding as well. Simply put all the herbs together and wrap an organic thread around it. This will burn later on with the herbs, so it's important to only use organic thread. And here I'm using some organic cotton thread that my grandmother made and gifted to me. Now all that is left is to wrap around your organic thread. Don't make it too tight, but you want to make sure that it is not too loose so it can hold together the herbs when they are burning. And that's it. I always use one of my abalone shells when I use smudge bundles, and please make sure you are careful when using them, but they are so beautiful and I also love to use them on my altar as some decoration. And they are really so beautiful and helpful. Just love them. So I hope you enjoyed this little witch's guide to Litha, and let me know which ritual was your favorite and how you are celebrating Litha this year. And have a wonderful Litha, and may your inner sun shine bright.